Had no control. We had no control. I wasn't like my brothers. People, they're angry and they take it out on others. I was angry and hurt, and I took it out on myself. And being brought up with Joseph and stuff like that.
The point is, Michael had no friends. Joseph was right when he told him in that movie, you're going to be surrounded by nothing but a bunch of yes men. Who would you rather be, I don't know, controlled by? Family or non-family? I don't know. But he told him right. He said, you're going to be surrounded by a bunch of yes men. This man, everything about this man had no privacy from his own circle, away from his family. Yeah?
When we were rehearsing 2300, where we used to live, it's like, if I danced wrong, if I sang the wrong note, I'd get the hell beat out of me. I'd get thrown in the face. So instead of taking that out on other people, I withdrew and I took it out on myself. There was nothing I could control in my life for my eating. They used to call me Big Nose and stuff. And instead of retaliating on them, I just did it with myself.
Are you happy with your face?
Yeah. I'm happy with my face and stuff.
Are you happy to get all that?
Yeah. Because I don't want to lose my kids.
Oh, wow. So that's why he did it to his face. He didn't want to look like his daddy, Joseph. Wow. Wow. Is that why Serena looks the way she does? You no longer want to look like Richard? That is a rabbit hole I was not prepared to entertain. You alter your looks so you don't look like the person that I guess you hate the most. Wow. Yes, that's some shit that you can't therapy that shit away. The man that got you to where you needed to be is the same man that, he made you better. He tortured you at the same time, but you change your face so you don't want to look like your daddy. Wow. That's crazy.
I am.
But how can you be that way when so many people are?
Because I don't love those people.
Oh.
I want to be with someone. I want to know what a relationship is all about before I die. Can you understand that, girl? My brothers have been married. My brothers have had girlfriends. I really haven't had that.
How long did it take you to get over Diana?
Oh.
Years. A hell of a long time.
Oh. Diana broke this man.
I just want to know what it's like to have a real relationship with someone who doesn't want me for me, that I don't have to look over my shoulder all the time.
That doesn't have an ulterior motive.
Yes, I don't want to die without knowing about it, having a real relationship with a woman who be involved. I was involved, but we never did it. We never really took play.
But that was your decision. That wasn't hers.
The girlfriend had my nose wide open. Okay, she could drive a truck through my nose.
That is the craziest
Black thing.
The black thing.
So I loved her so much. I would give her money, I would give her jewelry, I would give her a house, a car, whatever. But it was never good enough.
What did you think about attracted you was the fact that she was such a strong person and that she stood up for you and your dad and she was always there? Wasn't that a lot of the attraction? She's older than you.
Oh, yeah. And I was so in love that like I had my nose wide open and I didn't want to believe what was really going on. I wanted to experience what I haven't experienced before. Never having a relationship with someone like that. I've never had that.
I think everybody wants that.
Well, I haven't.
Okay.
And that's what I want. I know I'm not going to be here very long for that. I want to try. I've never experienced it. For someone to accept me totally.
You're pushing 34, my dear.
Yeah, I've never happened.
Wow, this is heartbreaking. Wow. Damn. So in 3 minutes, we got 2 realities from that phone call from Michael to whoever that was on the phone. And wow, no movie could really encapsulate that, what we just listened to. So not only did Diana, and then his face, his face with Joe. Damn, that's messed up, man. Oh, wow. This makes Michael an even more tragic figure, Wow. Damn. Okay, shit, man. That was kind of heartbreaking to hear. I hate that for Michael. Once again, this is the economics of Michael Jackson. Here we go. More accusations. Are you surprised? More accusations. Are you surprised? Now, the estate had paid these people before.
I'm fuming right now. They were considered family by Michael Jackson. They are now suing Michael Jackson's entire estate for sexual abuse allegations and misconduct. How convenient is this, considering the movie just released? Let's talk about it, because I'm not a happy camper.
That I was just sitting on the bed with him during the day, and I was just playing my Game Boy, and I remember he just went to me and just pulled down my shorts, and I didn't even pay attention to that because I didn't even it didn't stun me or anything. I remember just keep playing my Game Boy, and he took down my shorts, and then he started performing oral sex.
Oh, and you really? Okay, sir. Nobody believes that. And the fact that you came out here and put your face to this and actually said this dumbass shit is beyond
That
me.
clip alone sends me through the roof. We've got 4 out of the 5 Cascio siblings who are doing the suing. They said they were like his army of soldiers that would defend him when he was going through all the allegations. And he made them do things to him. When reached for comment, Marty Singer, who is the lawyer, states this was a desperate money grab for this lawsuit that was filed back in February of this year. So it says right here in Variety, Jackson insinuated himself into the lives of plaintiffs and their parents with obsessive attention, lavish gifts, access to his celebrity lifestyle, and declarations that he loved and needed each of them. After the abuse started, he isolated them emotionally and sometimes physically from responsible adults and from each other. He piled them with drugs and alcohol. He showed them pornography, including pictures of unclothed children.
Now, I remember the feds raided Neverland. They never found any of that stuff. No, they never found any CP, anything. So if the feds don't find it, that means it was never there to begin with. But once again, they gonna never let this man's legacy, not be untarnished.
To normalize the abuse and desensitize them. I call complete bull on all of this. I am forever team Michael, no doubt.
Okay, thank you, white woman. That's nice to know. But your people out here wilding. Okay, your people out here wilding. Once again, this is the economics of Michael Jackson. Okay, this man's name it just makes money. It prints money.
The estate is claiming that the Cascio family is asking for over $200 million. Why that amount?
That the estate paid Jordy Chandler $25 million for one instance of molestation 20 plus years ago. Just do the math and you can see the damages to 5 children for years of molestation would be worth.
Well, I remember I was in New Jersey and I walked into the laundry room and I see my mother ironing and I see tears running down her eyes and what do you mean Michael's in trouble? Because have you ever heard of a boy named Jordy Chandler? Well, he's accusing Michael of child molestation. We have to help him. We have to be there for him. That very day when that hit, we called and reached out to him. He was on tour somewhere on the Dangerous tour. And, my family, we knew Michael doesn't have that a bone in his body to do that. And my family knew him. He was part of the family. We wouldn't support someone, good times and bad. You're there for someone. You're there for your friends and your family. And there was not a doubt in any of our minds that Michael had done anything inappropriate and would never do anything inappropriate to a child. But knowing what Jordy's father, has done, and understanding the jealousy, when I went back and thought about it, Jordy would always say, my father's jealous of Michael. Jordy's father was upset because Jordy's father did a movie called Men in Tights that he wanted Michael to be a part of. Jordy's father saw
I remember that
$1 billion record deal, Michael Jackson. So Jordy's father saw Michael as a meal ticket to get his movie done. And when Michael didn't help him, and when Michael didn't want to be a part of his film, that's when the father went crazy. The father went absolutely crazy, where he said he wanted to do everything in his power to destroy this man because he felt his own family loved Michael Jackson more than they loved him. He felt intimidated by Michael because his family wanted to be with Michael more than they wanted to be with him. And he drove him crazy, and he did everything in his power to destroy Michael. And he wore lies and drugs, and he did everything in his power.
So do you think the accusation was out of character for Jordan Chandler?
Yeah, completely. He was absolutely manipulated, brainwashed to say these things because he was scared for his life. And if you notice, he had a restraining order against his father. He didn't want to have anything to do with him. This father destroyed his life, where he wanted to, he was a bright kid. He wasn't a dumb kid. He had a bright future, and this father ruined his child's life. It's not every day that a child wants to have a restraining order immediately after this is done. He wanted nothing to do with his father. I would love to speak to him, and I would.
Let me go to the comments. Part 2. Okay. So he told the truth. Okay, now. Okay, cool. Thank you, white man. All right. When Michael Jackson died in 2009, his estate owed creditors over $500 million and was on the verge of forced liquidation. It's now worth more than $2 billion. The new MJ biopic just made $217 million in 3 days, the biggest biopic opening ever. 2 years ago, Sony quietly paid around $600 million for half of Michael Jackson's catalog. The full catalog got valued at $1.2 to $1.5 billion, the highest price ever paid for one artist's music. Sony bet this catalog would keep earning forever and that a hit movie would push it higher. Before Michael opened, the Jackson estate was already pulling in around $75 million a year from streams and royalties. Okay. Bohemian Rhapsody, the 2018 Queen biopic, kept their songs charting for years afterward, saying producer Graham King. Lionsgate spent $200 million making the movie. The original budget was $155. The number ballooned because the estate's lawyers had forgotten a clause in an old legal settlement that barred them from showing the accuser on screen. So the entire ending had to be reshot. The estate paid $10 to $15 million for the new scenes. Director Antoine Fuqua walked away with $25 million in pay, a $10 million base, plus a $15 million bonus for the trouble. Jeezy Pete. Producer Graham King got $16 million, $6 million plus a $10 million bonus. This is where your goddamn budget. This is where your money's went. This is why the movie looked kind of cheap in certain instances. Critics hated it. The film sits at 38% of Rotten Tomatoes, and one review called it an infomercial. Audiences disagreed completely and gave it a 97% score on the same site, the highest audience score ever for a music biopic. About 6.3 million people in the US and Canada bought tickets at an average price of $15. Lionsgate internal target is 700 million worldwide. It will knock this out of the park easily. Bohemian Rhapsody, the high water mark for music biopics, finished with its run at $910 million. If Michael hits that target, the Jackson estate gets years of extra income from a catalog that's already bringing in $47 million a year. If you're a numerologist, if you belong in the lodge, you know the significance of the number 47. That's why I'm gonna keep saying I don't believe Michael is dead. But let's continue. Sony, which now owns half, gets the same lift on the bet it placed 2 years ago. The film ends with the card that reads, his story continues. Lion Gates is already prepping the sequel. Okay? This is the economics of Michael Jackson. Let's continue. John Branca. Let's get to him. John Branca. That's him. Okay. Branca is the co-executor of the estate and producer on the movie. This is the guy played by Miles Teller. Okay. Let's see here. Michael fired him in 2003 and he popped back up during This Is It rehearsals. Michael did not want him there. He also faked the will to usurp control of the estate from his family. If you want to know who is responsible for why Michael is dead, at least this version, follow the money. MJ has always been worth more to Branca dead than alive. He distanced himself for a reason. Okay. Okay. This is the letter he wrote to fight when he fired Branca. Michael was pretty clear about what he wanted. Michael never rehired him. AEG rehired Branca back for This Is It, and 7 days later, Michael died. Let's go. Dear John, this is hand delivered. This is to confirm that I am terminating the service of you and your firm effective upon delivery of this letter. I have engaged David Legrand, his firm, Hale, Lane, Peak, Dennison, and Howard, along with Booth, Michael, and Strange to represent my interests. I have also retained Paul Hastings and Janofsky to represent certain of my international interests. You are hereby requested to comply with the request made of you and your firm in order to have an immediate and orderly termination of your services. You are commanded to give Mr. Legrand, Mr. Brandt, or Ms. Brandt and their associates your full and unconditional cooperation. I have asked Mr. Legrand and Ms. Brandt to obtain all of my files, records, documents, accounts for myself and all my companies I own or control, which may be in your possession. You are to deliver the originals of all such documents to Mr. Legrand immediately. He will arrange copies to be returned to you. You are commanded to immediately cease expanding effort of any kind on my behalf other than in direct cooperation with Mr. Legrand and at his specific request. You are further directed to execute any and all documents reasonably required of you by Mr. Legrand and Ms. Brandt to transfer control over any and all files of mine or any business of mine in accordance with their instructions. I am also engaging the services of a new management company, and you are to have no further discussion with Barry Siegel or Provident Financial Management with regard to my legal affairs. Mr. Siegel and Provident Financial Management are no longer representing the interests of me or any business I own or control. You are specifically instructed to immediately transfer any funds you are holding in a trust for me to Mr. Legrand. I expect your full cooperation. I expect your full and complete cooperation with my new management company, Mr. Legrand, Ms. Brandt, and any other professionals is under their direction to assist in their understanding my financial affairs, legal affairs, and preparation of tax returns. You and your firm will be compensated at your ordinary and customary hourly rates for any such future assistance. Kindly deliver to Mr. Legrand my invoice for your services through the date of this letter when convenient.